Today I will be making a soap, and it's going to be inspired on the fragrance, which is the Monkey Farts. And this is what I'm hoping to achieve, sort of these curves, and using French green clay, yellow, and the yellow is gonna come from an annatto infused oil, which is the olive oil, and that's why this looks so dark, so red. And then I'm gonna put some embeds on top that I made with soap dough. So my oils are at 104, and the lye water is at room temperature because I made it yesterday. I was hoping I was going to be able to do this yesterday. So it's 77 right now. So I'm going to add the lye water to the oils. I'm going to make sure I get all of it. And I'm going to mix it. And then I'm going to start the blending. So I'll put some music for you. The fragrance oil, which is the Monkey Farts, like I said before. I particularly do not like this fragrance. This is my first time using it, and I don't like it how it smells in the bottle that much. But I'm hoping that once I see it in the soap, or I can smell it in the soap, it might be better. To me, it smells like papaya, and I don't like papaya. And that's probably why I'm not crazy about it. Now, my infusion of annatto, what has been infusing for about 2 months, maybe. Alright. So, now I'm going to split it into the 3 parts. Which is going to be the part that's going to be with the charcoal powder, and I'm using about 1 teaspoon of activated charcoal dispersed in a little bit of oil, and then I'm using 1 teaspoon of French green clay with half a teaspoon of nettle leaf powder for the green portion. And then the rest is just going to stay this yellow color from the annatto infusion. So I think it's going to be primarily yellow. And this part's going to be green. And I'm going to scrape down the, I've never used neither nettle leaf nor French green clay, so I should have probably only used one of them to get to learn what they look like by themselves. However, from the pictures that I've seen, the French green clay seems to look very pale, because even the clay itself is very pale. It doesn't have a whole lot of color, which is why I decided to add the nettle leaf, and this one does look like a darker green. So I'm just going to move that, and then the other part is going to be the activated charcoal. Last time I tried to disperse this in water, and it didn't disperse at all because it doesn't like water. So So I did read that it's better if you disperse activated charcoal in oils. So that's what I did. And as far as the annatto, it looks like a bright yellow right now. However, it seems that over time, like after 6 months or so, this is gonna go more of white than yellow, which is why I wanted to have other colors with it, so that it will look, even if the yellow goes light and it goes almost white, at least I'll still have the green and the black. So I'm gonna blend this some more. I want to achieve a thicker trace. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't do the black. I should do the black last because it's the darker one. So I'll do the green. And it looks like I have a light to medium trace on the green. And the activated charcoal does look very dark, so that's good. And it seems that I have light to medium trace on that one as well. So that's all good. So now I should start pouring. And I'll be using this mold. So the first color that I want to have is the yellow, which is what I have the most of. And I think I'm gonna blend it again because I do want it to be thicker, and this is not quite there yet. Okay, the green, because it has the French green clay, it's a mild trace. And I have read that when you do add clays to your soap, that it tends to accelerate trace. And that's probably why that one is the thickest one of them all. Alright, so I am going to experiment with this little tool that I made. Oh, but you know what? It's too big. Oh no. Let's see. I have to, if I push it, I should be able to use it. Okay, that's not bad. So I'm going to add the black on top of this. This reminds me of a bee. So if I follow this with more yellow, it's going to look like a bee. So this one and that one is pretty thick, which is the consistency that I wanted, so that's good. But it might be too thick. And I'm using this so that it doesn't break into the yellow too much. And just, I'm trying to even it out very lightly with this spatula. So next I'm going to do the green, and then I'll just alternate the colors. And this one is pretty thick. It's very, very thick. Oh, wait. I forgot to use this. So here we go. I think it's too late for that one. So what this is doing is that I hope it will create that curved pattern, that wavy pattern. It doesn't look like it's going to be very deep though. And because it is so thick, it's also going to help me be able to put the embeds. Ooh, that was too much, too thick. I still had it went down. Oh well. The picture that I show you is what I'm aiming for. But a lot of times, you end up with something very different. Soap happens. And that's okay. Sometimes you end up with something that's actually better than what you picture. And if not, you just learn something about the process that way. Now this is the first time that I've made the light water a day ahead of time, and it wasn't on purpose actually. I was hoping to be able to make soap yesterday, but it didn't happen. Sometimes you have to clean the kitchen before you can make soap. So I'm going to, this is what the shape looks like, and I'm trying to make ridges into it with it. And of course the accumulation is just ended in one end of the soap. Okay, so I did yellow, black, and green. So now I'm back with the yellow. And by now it has thickened some more, which is good. So I'm just going to spoon it into it. And I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to alternate the layers. And then I'll just, I'll stop it. I'll pause the recording and I'll bring you back when I put in the embeds. Because it's pretty much, you've seen the whole process pretty much. Okay, so now I'm ready to add the embeds. And it got really thick, so it sort of looked or felt like frosting. And I was trying to make it look even, but it's not happening. So I'm just hoping that the fruit will distract from the unevenness of the look. So I have, of course, bananas, since that's the predominant smell of it. But it also has smell of grapefruits. So these ones are supposed to be grapefruits, and it's supposed to have kiwis. So I made these kiwis and strawberries. So I'll add a strawberry. So I'm just gonna repeat something similar all throughout the soap, and then hopefully I'm ready to cut it tomorrow. The way it's looking, I think it will be ready tomorrow. It's becoming really hard. Okay, I've unmolded the soap and now I'm ready to cut it. I'm really curious what it's going to look like. It's been about 22 hours. Huh. And that's what it looks like. At least that one. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but not bad. It smells like bananas, so I guess, and this part is actually green. So I guess in a way it resembles bananas. So anyway, I wonder if they all look like this. Okay, this one's looking a little bit better. So it's like a stripy look. I'm gonna cut one from the other end to see how that one looks. And I don't think I like this fragrance that much, but I'm not very fond of fruity fragrances anyway. But it's a very popular one. It's Monkey Farts. It's very famous. To me, I just don't think I like fruity fragrances, period.